Now everyone tuning in is very aware of the whole new Twitch rules and everything. So, but for the most part, really shouldn't impact us too much. You know, hopefully. And if anything, I am also now locally recording all the stream, so we'll have that backup if for whatever reason it gets muted on their side, and would still be fine uploading it to YouTube and yada yada. So youtube.com/Honcast. We are doing our best to keep that updated, especially now, as much as possible, as fast as possible with the VODs if you do miss it. So there you go. Got that out of the way. Anyways, Minimaga here once again. I see Gemini there, and I'm like, oh god, Hellborn team's in for a tough game once again.
Yeah, I mean, I think this time, though, from what it looks like from the Hellborn lineup, it looks like they're going for a little bit more of a hard carry in terms of either Drunken Master or Madman. We saw in Game 1, obviously, Wretched Hag being picked up, and like I said before, like that was more of a, Wretched Hag is a good carry, no, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, it's not, your sit, farm, and babysit kind of carry, and it can really sort of devastate the game. It looks like in Game 3, actually, sorry. We only saw we didn't see Game 1, sorry. That Hellborn sort of switched something up, so hopefully we'll see maybe a different kind of game as well.
Mm-hmm. Indeed, indeed. And actually, I was trying to look back to see if we could have maybe seen the Game 1 stats, but unfortunately, it looked like it wasn't recorded yet. But with that said, too, now with Haunter being back using the Haunter lobby and everything, the tournament stats tab on players' stats should start to be updated once again with these tournaments and whatnot. So again, that's kind of just another way, speaking of stats, to kind of, you click on that, you can click on this little scroll down menu right here, you can kind of go to past events or whatever. So again, keeping that in mind too, for looking up information on players and whatnot. But bands following up with the initial picks, we got Swiftblade, Bubbles, Hag, Empath, Glacius, and Torturer, and then Witch Slayer going to be that first pick, or the next pick even, coming out for the Legion team. So if I'm not mistaken, this is looking very similar.
Except for the Magmus.
Yeah.
I mean, they had Pebbles instead of the Magmus, yeah. But it's one of those cases that, what isn't broken, don't fix it, pretty much. But at least I'd like to see, I'm glad to see Hellborn at least sort of switching up their kind of draft, because the worst thing you can do is obviously pick the exact same draft, and obviously, Legion are going to have that kind of advantage if they won in Game 2. Andromeda, though, one of those heroes that did get a slight buff as well, and a buff that is kind of needed, and I like to see. But Dr. Repulsor, surprising there.
Yeah, Dr. Repulsor, especially it's mainly because of the Gemini already being there, and yeah, where are they going to lane this is the question now. I mean,
Suicide Gemini, maybe?
Suicide Gemini, I guess, but I mean, they would have had that reason to pick up Dr. Repulsor to really force a Suicide Gemini, seems like. I don't really see anything on the Hellborn team that's like, oh yeah, they want Doctor. I mean, it's a really good hero, but something tells me, are we going to see like a jungling Doctor? I'm just putting it out there. I mean,
unless they go for a tri-lane and then just go like aggressive tri-lane Engineer, Magmus, Witch Slayer, and then send maybe the Dr. Repulsor mid Gemini Suicide. Solo. Yeah. They've already seen that Hellborn are running a tri-lane or at least a dual support. Maybe they wanted something to offer them kind of a solo presence as well, offering them the tri-lane potential with the Engineer, Magmus, Witch Slayer already picked up. For Hellborn, though, I think they need to have some kind of initiation. Pharaoh's still on the board. Bubbles isn't. So I think Pharaoh would potentially be good. I mean, they already have 2 million already, so maybe not preferable, but they need some kind of initiation to really tie the whole lineup together. Pebbles will do, I guess. That's most likely in the tri-lane as well, and then with the Drunken Master and Madman solo. So I think we might see a tri-lane action coming out here in Game 3.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be very, very possible. And you made mention of the Andromeda getting that buff last patch, and I had to double-check that one. Yeah, that's right, the Void Rip, obviously. Getting now the plus armor when she uses that Void Rip, tapering off over the 6 seconds. So that is definitely a nice buff. I mean, she's always been known as kind of that scapegoat for the team, that sacrificial lamb, even is the term I use quite a bit with her. So that gives her a little bit more potential to at least stay alive a little bit longer, if not even survive. In those situations, so it's kind of a nice change indeed.
Yeah, I mean, it is a nice change, but I think the main issue with Andromeda and why we don't see it too much so is the ultimate being such low range. With these sort of support heroes, obviously you don't get too much level, so leveling up Void Rip isn't, sort of the way to sort of do it in terms of, oh yeah, just level, you know, get higher levels on the drum and then you can work. But if you're a support hero, you're not going to get a lot of levels anyway. So I think if you could get a little bit of a buff to maybe the increase in range on Void Rip would really make her a lot more used up, as well as I say other heroes as well, like Polywell Priest, and maybe increase the range on the Morph and the sort of tongue tie. I could see a lot more heroes being a lot more versatile and a lot more, you know, used up in competitive play. I think there's a few heroes that need just that little bit of an extra buff and would see them a lot more in competitive play, but who knows, we might see that in the next up and coming patch.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, Andromeda, you know, speaking of range, obviously your auto attack range is also pretty minimal compared to other supports, especially. I mean, hell, you just compare right here, Rhapsody at 550, Andromeda 400. So, you know, a big reason too why we maybe don't use her again as a go-to support, especially like for babysitting and whatnot. But when it comes to roaming, I mean, no, most certainly she is one of the most powerful, mainly because of that common stun being just a static duration of 1.75 seconds, and leveling it up increases that damage, of course. So. Magmus Engineer is indeed an excellent combination, and stats definitely kind of back that up right there. 28 games, 64% win percentage, not too shabby. It is kind of one of those classic combinations with that said. So Magmus Engineer, of course, on the side of the Legion team here. But again, tri-lane action is very, very possible with what we have set up here in terms of these two teams. So it goes up a little more. Oh, it went up 0.4%. Goes up a little bit more. That's true. That's technically true. So the Hellborn team, as soon as they give the go-ahead, though, we should be going with game number 3 here to finish off this series, and we'll finish off the cast of the day, of course. So.
Yeah. One thing to note, though, is that if both of these teams do go head-to-head against a tri-lane, I think if Legion does get ahead, or even sort of even in terms of the tri-lane, I think they might actually have a better time in terms of when it goes into the mid-game or late game. Because, I mean, we talked about before how I'd like to see him, I think me and you can both agree, that we'd like to see sort of the secondary supports that offer something a little bit more than just the laning presence as a result. And a Witchlight obviously offers a lot more in terms of just outside the laning presence because of that silver bullet, able to sort of be impactful in terms of ganks. I mean, Andromeda still has an impact outside of the laning phase, as well as Rhapsody, no doubt, but I think Witchlight, just having that immense burst damage, to say the least, can really sort of pair up with Dr. Repulsor, or even Magmus in terms of ganking. So as long as they sort of fare and good in terms of the laning phase, I think they have maybe a slightly better time in terms of mid and late game, but we'll have to see.
Yeah. So I am getting a little bit of lag here on my side. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm nothing just started randomly downloading or anything. Might have just been a simple hiccup, so... okay, I think we're good to go. Yeah, I dropped a little bit of frames right there, so do apologize, guys. Maybe a little bit of a hiccup there, but looks like it kind of evened itself out now, whatever the hell that was, and hopefully should be good to go now. So obviously the thankful thing is that we are still in a pause, so not really the biggest deal if it kind of cut out right there. Yeah, Sapphire is kind of linking that in chat right there with the link. So yeah, again though, with the whole Twitch situation, guys, so like I said, on our side, it really shouldn't be the biggest issue as far as affecting things. I know there's a big outcry and everything, and understandably I do get it, but when it comes to Honcast, at least things should still move on the same, and I guess can no longer play my Queen and Disney music on stream anymore, but you know, I guess sacrifices, right? Gotta make sometimes. So
yeah.
All right, so here we go. Here we go. The laning phase coming about now. And all 5 heroes from the Hellborn team, at least, already sitting down towards the bottom lane here.
And talking about the item pickups that already come out from Plicity, is it? From the Pebbles, anyway. Is I already do like the item pickup already. I mean, I think I've mentioned it before, but I'll mention it again. Whenever you're going as a trial, and I think that the farmer or the core farmer should never get a hatchet, because you just need a lot more region when you're going against a tri lane, and you just don't have enough money to really afford a hatchet, at least in the early stage. I mean, you could even pick up a hatchet if you sort of felt necessary outside, you know, into like maybe minute 1, minute 2, but at the start, I think, you know, getting that extra bit of region and maybe one more Blightstone or minor totem, sorry, is just the way to go, because otherwise you're low on region, low on stats, and in a tri lane you can definitely be punished because of that.
Oh yeah, stats obviously big deal. Those little things can add up when you're going to that try versus try, but you do look at some kind of rotations coming out here, and the Hellborn team especially, they're going to send all 3 there, so they no aggressive trialing going to be coming out. Are they just seriously sending a Suicide Pebbles?
This is mind games. I'm pretty sure Hellborn expect a Legion trying to go aggressive, and it makes sense though, because before in the meta game, we never really saw try versus try. So if you were going to go a try lane, you'd have to go aggressive, so, to make a difference. In terms of this sense, Hellborn expected the Legion to try lane, and Legion expected Hellborn to try lane. So a lot of mind games going in. But I think even if they were going to expect that, I think Pebbles should still be in the try lane, because now obviously Pebbles can't suicide. Whereas if they put Madman down here, then he could at least survive against a try lane. In the end, Hellborn going to come out a lot worse in this instance.
That's what I was getting at mainly. It's just like Pebbles. When you have a Madman and a Drunken Master on your team?
Yeah, actually, Legion support should not show it. If Pebbles expects one... Actually, top lane.
Yeah, Gemini's in a little bit of trouble. You do look at Madman, though, doing a pretty good move right there, knowing that Gemini was going to use the Twin Fangs, but in the end, not nearly enough damage to make anything happen. Back to the bottom lane. Pebbles, the keg stun, he's going to dodge that right there. And he'll be fine, and that's the missed opportunity. I mean, that's, as you're kind of saying right there, maybe just hide a little bit to make it seem like maybe it was a 1v1, but... obviously, not the case. So now they've shown, so now Pebbles can play a little more passive, but still, I mean, it's Pebbles. What is he going to do?
I mean, they need to rotate these lanes up straight away, because there's no point running a suicide Pebbles against a try lane, because either he's going to get absolutely nothing or just feed the whole way. Whereas I think Madman would get a little bit more. But unless they want to prioritise Madman farm, but at the same time, then why would you pick up Pebbles? It just doesn't make even sense. You could even put Pebbles mid and send the Drunken Master suicide. Andromeda is roaming down here though, so maybe they're going to run some weird dual lane versus a tri lane, which again I disagree with.
They got Rhapsody coming too, so it is going to ultimately be a tri versus tri lane aggressive here in the end. So yeah, it's like
fun. That's cool.
Yeah, they end up doing it, and I mean neither side takes advantage really of how it initially was set up, but.
I think Legion does take an advantage though, because at the moment, TPs have to be used for Rhapsody, and Pebbles missed quite a bit of farm, whereas Magmus could get all the farm he wanted. I mean, he's only 180 GPM, but at the same time, he's still higher than Pebbles. So at the moment, I think Legion are actually a little bit ahead into this tri lane already, just because of the rotation.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, Pebbles going to try to start poking in for some creep farm now. With the current position, not really doable. But if this does get pushed back, which it looks like it is going to here, then it could definitely deal with it. In fact, a little surprised, going to deny that creeper that I was going to say. It should be maybe hard denying a little bit more here on the Legion side to get it pulled back. But tri-lane Pebbles, overall, I mean, Pebbles himself obviously decent, but half record, or 3-3 even. But actually, speaking of Pebbles, he's going to be caught on the combination coming out with the stuns now, but not the best staggering of the stuns. And I think that's going to be the difference. If anything, no, it will not. He'll still go down. But no, which side went down first? So it was a difference maker. The bloodless kill in favor of the Hellborn team. However, still more cleanup kills to happen in favor of the Legion side, it looks like. Andromeda now dropping low. A couple more auto attacks will do him in, but Engineer needs to be careful. There goes Andromeda, but Rhapsody still going in, but the Fade to Black, unfortunately, coming into play. And a good juke in the end by Engineer. So, yeah, I was going to say, though, the Graveyard and the Kegston were basically on top of one another.
Yeah.
So Pebbles, it took him a little bit longer to die.
Yeah, but again, though, this is showing because of the late rotation coming out from Hellborn. I mean, Magmus picked up his boots as well as having their level advantage over Pebbles, and as a result, they do capitalise for a 2-1 split. In the meantime, I don't know if you caught it, but actually, Dr. Repulsor took out Hellborn's courier because he had the haste and just picked off the sort of brown courier. So another big win come out from Hellborn, from Legion, sorry.
Yeah, so you see Magmus here kind of poking in a little bit again, needs to be a little careful, but at the same time he is level 4 now, so he's trying to get a bit more of a level advantage here even in the end. So overall creep farm 11-6, but there are the lanes, so let's kind of take a look at those real quickly, and hopefully not too much action in the meantime. Dr. Repulsor versus Drunken Master middle lane here. You got your Doctor at 22-6, Drunken at 14-1. You see Drunken going in right there. Doctor actually kind of just boxing him out though, and eventually pushes him out of the way. There's going to be a 4-minute rune spawn. Wrong rune, though. Refreshment rune top. However, illusion rune bottom will just be picked up by Andromeda in the end. So not necessarily a big ganking rune, but still takes that away, if anything, from the Dr. Repulsor's bottle is the best way to look at it. And then, of course, Gemini versus Madman. It started off 3 versus 1, but it's been 1v1 for a while now. Gemini 17-1. Madman currently 23-8, though. So slight advantage at the same time for Madman here. At the top lane. But yeah, the middle matchup, Dr. Repulsor having the much better time. I mean, Drunken usually considered a very strong 1v1 laner, especially. Is it surprising to see Doctor doing so well?
Not really, because I mean, Doctor actually is a strong laner against melees, but particularly against Drunken Master. I know you said Drunken Master is a strong solo, but particularly against melee, Drunken is better.
Okay.
And the only problem is though, is when Doctor puts the magnetic contraption down, Drunken Master needs to get his harassment in, which is through his stagger. But when he does that, obviously he's taking a lot of damage coming out from magnetic contraption. And so it's kind of like a double-edged sword coming out from Drunken Master. I'd actually like to see Doctor max the magnetic contraption, because then actually he could box out his Drunken Master completely and make sure Drunken Master doesn't come in within melee range.
Yeah. You see, Doctor is level 6 right now. He doesn't have the most mana here, but is level 6. And doing a kind of nifty thing right there. Again, drops a couple of stat items, uses his bottle, then picks them right back up. It's just one of those small things. We saw that a lot in the 1v1 event that we had. Of course, there was that one match, Adro versus Flensmeister, that cost Flensmeister. Anyways, that's another thing. But, it's just a nice, efficient way to refill that mana in life in general, with dropping the stats down for that time being. So, in small plays. Bottom lane, though, you see a little bit of harassment back and forth here. They were kind of going over because they noticed the pull was happening. Was the Hellborn team, that is. But actually, Magmus, though, yep, he's going to get the start on Andromeda. Will they be able to follow this up the best? Steambath comes out. He's going to come out of it, though. Beautiful kicks, and it kind of splits them. But actually, Magmus now in a little bit of trouble. He's going to be comboed right there, and he cannot get away. So, what Keg's done, I mean, it was solid, but it just seemed like the backup wasn't really fully ready there.
Yeah, I mean, either the backup wasn't ready, or Magmus just was a little bit too hasty. I think actually it was more of the latter. I mean, Magmus went in when actually Witchslayer and Engineer are actually farming the pool, so communication obviously just a little bit lacking there for both of the Legion side, but that's exactly what Hellborn needed. I mean, they were losing this tri-lane already, but a big pickup, particularly on the core farmer here in the Legion tri-lane, is all they need to really get back into this game in terms of the tri-lane.
Yeah. Yeah, see, that's another one of those stats that Quincy bringing up right there for kind of like the Gauntlet one last game. It's not nearly as radical, but still, I must say I'm a little surprised at that. Drunken Master, usually considered a very strong hero. His win percentage doesn't really back that up for maybe how much he is considered to be so strong, especially in those 1v1 situations, especially 1v1 mid for that matter. It drops all the way down to 36%. So, that's kind of interesting there, but, at the same time, you got Dr. Pulsar is having the better time in the middle lane, so kind of repeating history there. Obviously, when the win-loss, the Hellborn team going to try to change that, though, in the end themselves. But back to the top lane, Gemini, 36-5 now, so Beaver Banger not like excelling like he was last game by any means, but it's understandable, especially with being in the long lane here. But he is having the slightly better time than Madman now. Well, actually, it's pretty much even as far as creep farm goes between the two heroes for the time being, but you think rotations need to start happening here in the near future? We're starting to get level 6s, maybe send the Gemini to the bottom lane to pick up his farm, or what's the deal?
I mean, I would actually really like to see Dr. Repulsor rotate bottom, because, I mean, he's the perfect hero to sort of set up ganks because of his insane mobility with the ludicrous speed. And at the same time, obviously, he'll be ganking for the short lane, so actually Hellborns will be out of position completely. The only problem is actually depending on where the lane position is, but the lane position is coming back now for Legion, so I think if there is a time to gank, it's now for Dr. Repulsor. But, I mean, you might even see a rotation come out from Hellborn, because, I mean, Pell was level 4. I mean, he did get the kill on Magmus, but in the end, I mean, this tri-lane is still really, really strong for Legion, and I think that's because of the utilisation of the pool they've had here. And at the same time, I mean, Hellborn didn't block the pool for the whole time they've been down here because they expected a tri-lane in the top lane. As a result, I mean, Legion are winning this tri-lane, and with a gank from Dr. Repulsor, actually middle lane.
Yeah, they're going in for the kill. Drunken Master, can he actually get away? Another stagger coming up in 1 second, but no, he cannot. The combination too strong, and that was just good good communication on their part. Dr. Pulsar goes in, had Engineer to back him up, and sure enough, gets the kill in the end. So, yeah, big kill coming out right there for the Legion team. So you talked about Doctor maybe sitting in roam a little bit. Hell, well, he gets a kill in the middle lane, and that in itself is almost the same thing as roaming anyway.
Yep.
So
It's fun.
Kill for him. Pretty good news. Doctor does have that grave locking out. Now, okay, Doctor seems like one of these heroes that could possibly go for something like the Null Stone, especially with that buff. Do you think that is powerful on him, or?
Yeah, I think definitely, particularly as there's a lot of heroes that have quite single target spells like the Rhapsody, like the Drunken Master, and the Andromeda. I think Dr. Repulsor with Null Stone would be like the perfect item pickup. I mean, we used to sort of see it a while ago, but back to the buff on Null Stone. I mean, why not? I think it'd be a good pickup here as well.
Yeah. All right, I'm just getting some feedback right now. I don't know why it's taking so long, to be honest, but because I have the same settings that I had yesterday too. But I'll turn down the sound a little bit for both myself and everything else. Apparently, we're peaking a little bit here, so I'll just kind of tone it down a little bit, and hopefully that is a little bit better. But anyways, Magmus in the meantime, bottom lane, Pebbles, he's going to be gone, and there comes Dr. Pulsar, putting in the auto attacks, pulls him in as well. Down goes one. It's probably at least going to be two. Andromeda, not much hope for her to ultimately get away. Maybe, the Magmus does the last second. Now it does force Magmus to go pretty deep right there, and it will will ultimately result in his death. In the background, Drunken Master, he's looking to get a response right here. He gets a beautiful lunge off on a Witch Slayer, and Witch Slayer now in poor position. It will cost him his life right there. And Dr. Repulsor taking some staccato stuff, but Magmus buys back. A beautiful line set on to 2 heroes. Pops the eruption. Doesn't even matter because Gemini comes in to clean up, and now Madman's in trouble. Dr. Repulsor, he's still going. Just enough mana to do so, but Madman stalks away. But yeah, very early buyback. It does work out beautifully here.
Definitely. And I love to see those buybacks. I mean, we used to see it from Swindlerlands all the time, and why not? I mean, with those sort of few kills that can really make a difference in the early stage, I mean, it's worthwhile. I mean, yeah, the buyback money obviously sort of slowing down your portal key, but with 2 kills that are so crucial, honestly, in the early game, it's definitely worthwhile. And I think he most got, I mean, a lot of his gold back from those 2 kills anyway, so good buyback coming out from Goosey Nib.
Indeed, indeed. You know, that's not, I feel like that's not something we see a whole lot just nowadays in general. Obviously, you know, Swindlemel is definitely a name that comes to mind when you do think very early buyback stay green, especially as a team. But, you know, outside of that, you know, we don't really see a whole lot of it happening. But that was a case right there of most certainly a very, very powerful and effective buyback in the end. Again, the portal key is still definitely in the works here. 1,400 gold saved up. Definitely still getting there even with the buyback, well, because of how it worked out in the end. So Pebbles in the meantime, not nearly as well. Only level 5 still, only has 100 gold saved up. He does have steam boots and a mana battery here. So, you know, maybe upgrade to a power supply, but portal key should be next other than that. But yeah, top lane, Rhapsody was just simply going for a stroll, damn it. And, well, she's regretting that. She gets caught in the jungle. Engineer, however, he's also taking some good damage. She's going to energy field, maybe? No, he couldn't get it off, actually. Seems like he was almost confused on what to do right there. He ends up going down, and now actually Gemini might be in a little bit of trouble. Doesn't have Twin Fangs up for 7 more seconds. Drunken Master coming in. If he can get in range for a lunge here, it's so close. There we go. He gets it off, and down goes Gemini when it's all said and done. So, yeah, not popping the energy field there, I think. Ultimately not only cost him his own life, but you could argue even didn't help Gemini either, unfortunately. So, fortunately, he didn't get it off for the sake of his team. But, yeah, what looked like maybe a good chance for the Legion side, well, it does backfire, and that's obviously good for Rexars here. Kind of slowing things down a bit, at least. Magmus doing pretty well, by the way.
Yeah, that's true, but at the same time, Magmus nearly got his portal key right now, and that's going to be a real big key. I'd like to see level 6 on Witch Slayer as well, and they can pretty much get a kill on anyone, as well as they maybe a pairing with Dr. Repulsor. Dr. Repulsor, only 400 GPM as well. He's having a fantastic game, and like you said, Nullstone probably in the works for him, and that's going to be a real pain to really bring down Dr. Repulsor, because they don't actually have any sort of AoE stuns like a Bubbles, which is really, really strong against Dr. Repulsor. I mean, they do have the AoE stun against Pebbles, but I think in this game, I mean, Doctor's going to be an absolute, really bugger to try and kill. Middle lane. Yeah,
there we go. Jump into the middle lane. Drunken Master. There goes the energy field. He is going to have to go through it. Unbreakable's up. Doesn't matter though. The mitigation, not enough right there. Witch Slayer kind of coming up. He thought about Graveyard, but probably wasn't in range of anything. So, no follow-up there, but a beautiful gank onto Misha, playing the Drunken Master right there. Kind of keeping him in check. He's only farming about 235 gold per minute. Has those Ghost Marchers, but obviously not really taken off by any means. Dr. Pulse, on the other hand, again, he is up there now, really, nearly that 400 gold per minute mark. And like you're talking about, you know, very curious what he ultimately does go for here. Will it be the Nullstone, the Icon, or Portal Key, just because? Probably not. We'll have to wait and see what good old Doctor goes here. Speaking of Portal Key, though, Magmus does have his own. He gets it right there. So, of course, big news for Blue Dingle Balls here and their progression. Beaver banger, so it's maybe not his couple of Gemini games that he's had as of recent history, including just the last game, but it's still a pretty one at that, and overall his team is in the better spot for the time being, so that's, of course, what really does matter here. But he still is at the top lane with that said. Like I was talking about earlier, you know, kind of wondering if he's going to make an adjustment here in the near future, go to that short lane perhaps, try to pick up his own farm. He's still at the top lane, and actually, he needs to be a little careful right here. I mean, he is just playing it great. There's 3 heroes here. Finally, I was going to say, they got to go in sometime. Finally go in. There's the Twin Fangs out. No stun. Magmus comes in with the big eruption right there, and down goes all 3. Oh, you know, I was questioning them not going in, and now I see why. They shouldn't have listened to me.
Oh man, that Magmus so big, and that's why, you know, you pick up Magmus and pick up, you know, the portal key as early as possible and try and make stuff happen, because with that one play, they take, the tier 1 tower, the whole team fight, 7,600 gold, 7,200 experience. I mean, Legion, Blue Dingleballs, probably the underdogs in this matchup, I would say so myself. I mean, I expected Rexars to win. I mean, no disrespect to Blue Dingleballs, but at the moment, they're playing fantastic. I mean, if they do win, you can see why.
Yeah, Blue Dingleballs versus Dawn finals matchup. Who would have saw that one coming? Not a lot of people, but again, I keep going back to you. It's really going to be the season of the unexpected, and like I said, it's not that it just happens to be like teams that are just filling for whatever, but they're playing very well. They really are. You can't doubt that. What your eyes are telling you right here. So you see at the top lane, they are going to be ganking the Pebbles up here, and Drent's actually getting credit for the kill, but that's just simply the movement and the momentum just continues here for our Legion side. So Madman, I mean, he kind of came in there, was hoping to get some kind of response, and they might still have something. Gemini, oh, he's going for the port out, but that proves to be costly for him. He is going to throw out the Twin Fangs. Gemini is going to fall, though. Yeah, Beaver Banger, he thought he was for sure fine, but, well, he was not. That was a good catch for the Hellborn team, and that's definitely a little bit of a mistake on his part. With that said, so.
Look at that stat bringing up by Quincy. Like,
holy
wow.
crap. Yeah, I mean, I think that stat like that right there really shows the power of a snowball. He's one of these snowball heroes. If he gets that good start, and it's not the carry GPM by any means, but 450 gold per minute, very respectable, he will win you games. Kind of like a Pebbles maybe, or something like a Dampier even, and things like that. So 16-1, yeah, that's not surprising to me, honestly.
Yeah, and I'm kind of surprised we don't see Doc Trupp more often. I think Quincy brought up again, I mean, obviously the win rate is very good, but even just the flat win rate completely, Doctor is like one of the highest. I think it's like around 69%, I think, if my memory serves me correctly.
Yeah.
And we don't really see Doctor all too much. It's not 69%, so score to me and my memory.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like the win percentage is so high. You'd expect to see this hero a lot more often, but we just kind of don't. I mean, I can understand why, because laning phase is a little bit of an issue. I mean, he needs a good start, like you said. He needs that sort of snowball. But I mean, I'm surprised we don't see a lot more heroes or a lot more teams picking him up and sort of accommodate his laning potential, because at the moment, I mean, he's absolutely dominating, and I can see why.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Icon of the Goddess is finished, so you talk about Snowball, you talk about GPM. Again, he's 400 gold per minute, so he hasn't reached that 450 yet, but even at 485% win rate, again, that just shows you the power of a Snowball hero that, such as Dr. Repulsor, but like an item that Snowball. Of course, Icon of the Goddess definitely fits that very well, so going to try to continue to keep the momentum up in his favor. 4-0-2 already. The Hellborn team, on the other hand, sticking together, getting some more farm on Mammon, obviously getting the Portacam Pebbles. As I say that, Mammon's going to be gone on Gemini going in. The disjoint with the split up right there from Gemini. He's trying to stay alive the best he can, but it's not going to happen. He will eventually fall, so.
Yeah, I thought that disjoint on the comment was going to be enough to sort of save him, but he kind of looked like he sort of stayed trying to even get the kill on Madman. Then he saw the Rapsy armor and he's like, oh man, I'm so deep, I'm so going to die. But in the end, does fall, and at least a little bit of life coming out from Hellborn. This might even be the tier 1 bottom as well, and definitely on their way to getting back into this game. It will give a lot more gold for Pebbles if he can get the last hit, which I'd like to see him get. And they are going to leave it for him. So that's good. Closing on his portal key, very, very close on that. And maybe that's the thing to really sort of kick back their comeback here in Game 3.
Oh, yeah. Pebbles, speaking of Snowball kind of heroes, it's impactful heroes. Obviously, he is one of those, too. So, oh, boy. Yeah, Madman apparently not the best results as far as wins go when he's in that carry role. And, yeah, most certainly was there. He was in the short lane, of course, so kind of fitting that carry role for the team. But which, again, it's only 5 games in the end, so I guess it's just maybe coincidence, whatever. But at the same time, I'm a little bit surprised because I really do see Madman as a hero that, when it comes to carrying, he can do it. I mean, his skill set definitely speaks for it. He has a lot of potential. But we see him so much more in that suicide kind of, just getting creep kills, getting the levels, and then, maybe the late game kind of becomes a secondary carry for the team.
Yeah. But and I think you were the person to say as well that, Madman, you don't need a lot of items for him to sort of carry, quote unquote. So why give him the short lane if he doesn't need items in the first place? Might as well, offer up the short lane to someone else. Obviously, short lane the most important roam, actually middle lane.
Yeah, Drunken Master. He's trying to maybe get a little bit of farmer here past the river, and he will survive in the end. He pops you untouchable again, mitigating some good damage right there, and does survive. Andromeda was ready with a swap if need be, but obviously not necessary there. So. In the end, going to be fine. Just goes back to farming away elsewhere. Dr. Repulsion, though, still doesn't have charges yet on the icon, so has had that for... That's not like a horrible thing, though, with that said. It's obviously still just a very effective tool in general for stats and helps us farm overall, too. So, as I say that, though, we might be seeing what happened here. Dragon Master, there's that swap from Andromeda, so again, gets that armor buff here. It's going to start tapering off, though. And as it does, he just starts melting away. So there's a kill coming out. And items being delivered as well. Firebrand just given to Gemini right here. And look at that. He drops his items while the regen's on the... oh, no, he's using bottle as well. I thought he was doing it for the icon buff. But anyways, some more efficient use of dropping items right there. Drunken Master does not want to kill with these Ancients, but he probably should have. He drops immediately. And it's not over just yet. Gemini's still going in. He wants to chase down this Rhapsody. It might come at a cost for him. No, yes, the right dot goes down. Thus, Gemini falls. But here comes Dr. Pulsar once again. Rhapsody goes down. Pebble's going to end up dying. Oh, he popped the porta key just before. But this is going to be a cleanup right here at the bottom lane. Man, he's still somehow alive. He's going to stalk on through. Does he somehow make the escape? I think he did. They're distracted right there. Andromeda was buying time. Oh, these hiccups, man. Madman is trying to get away on the river.
Wow, that was insane. Wow. Duke survives out of all four of them as well. But in the end, great play from Big Ol on there. Insane play. I was certain he was going to die. So again, I mean, Hellborn. I mean, looking bad, but at least they're hanging on in the end. Portal Key now on Pebbles as well. So at least they do have some sort of signs of life. Maybe they can start ganking. Maybe with the Mad Mana and the Pebbles, or get them back into this game. Yeah,
that's what it's going to take. Again, Pebbles just getting that Portal Key at least. So. Despite that fight not going nearly in their favor, they got something out of it in the end. Madman, he is working towards a Shrunken Head as well, so again, goes back to that aspect. That alone will allow him to be a lot more mobile in these fights, and with the skill set, he can definitely take advantage of that. So he's going to apply a little bit of pressure down here. Oh, maybe go for kill, but no, Doctor's just a little too quick, man. Oh, maybe not, actually. He gets slowed by Madman right there with the barrel roll, and Pebble still chasing. Has it Chuck ready to use. He wants to chuck something that says, chuck this creep. Madman still going in. There's the cutoff from Andromeda, and that will be a kill. On a Dr. Repulsor. These creeps doing a little bit of block, though, but it's not going to matter. That's a big haste that was picked up by Andromeda, too. But Rhapsody, on the other hand, oh, not so big. She kind of gets caught that she was simply trying to help out her team in the meantime. So... But yeah, kill on Doctor. That is his first death of the game, so big news there for Rexars, and that's a step in the right direction, of course.
Yeah, I mean, Madman is closing in on his Shrunken Head as well. Maybe they can do something. They do have the Portal Key on Pebbles, the Shrunken Head on Madman. I mean, Shrunken Head's getting closing in on his Shrunken Head as well. And if you look at it, actually, Legion have very, very heavy magical damage. I mean, yeah, they have the Gemini physical presence maybe in the late game, but with the Shrunken Heads, actually... I think, a lot of their sort of team fight potential is gone actually middle lane. Andromeda's in trouble.
Andromeda, he's like, why are you jumping me over here? They're going to try to make them pay. Pebbles will make them pay. Magmus goes down. And this is getting to be one of those situations for the Legion team. They're gonna help the Hellborn team come back in this game with plays like that. Yep. And the Gemini going to be fine. But yeah, diving that far for an Andromeda, not a good thing.
NG did pick up his Portal Key though, so that's definitely increased their team fight potential. But once Madman and Drunken get their Shrunken Heads, I mean, it's not going to play any kind of factor at all, actually. So if they can get their Shrunken Heads top lane, Gemini might be in trouble.
Yeah, he is. Now he is able to dodge the Stalagmites more so. Pebble's kind of blindly throwing those out. Gemini going to be fine for now. He has Twin Fangs, so he should be good in the long run. Yeah, they're just even going to stop chasing. I was a little bit worried about it for a second because I did see them coming over initially, but no, he makes the juke's going to be fine. Dr. Repulsor. It's just a Madman, though. This is not the old school Madman. He doesn't have a stun, so not much he can do there. In terms of Dr. Pulsar kind of running around. So Doctor is going for a Nullstone, by the way, to follow up the icon now. I believe I just saw him by the Life Tube with the Blessed Orb he already has. So.
Yeah, so that's going to be another issue for Hellborn to worry about, but in the end, they've got many worries to worry about. But at least the one thing they're sort of trying to solve is their team fight. And with the Shrunken Head and on Madman closing in now, as well as the Shrunken Head on Drunken Master very close as well, I think their team fight is going to be considerably better now because at least them two can have free reign in the team fights. And like I said before, very heavy magical damage here on the Legion side. So with those Shrunken Heads, I think actually Hellborn can definitely contest these team fights.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Just purchased and delivered to Madman, so has that to use. You saw right there, Dr. Pulsar almost jumped him right before he got it, but he was able to react in time with that stock, and is going to be fine. So Madman also very close to level 16. That means level 3 Berserk, which obviously even more attack speed and more movement speed, right? Yeah, movement speed as well on top of that. So, well, he goes Berserk. That kind of speaks for it right there. Tablet on top of the portal key for Magmus here in the meantime, with another 1,500 gold saved up, even so it's got quite a bit. Yeah, Engineer with that portal key himself, so he's kind of been playing more of the secondary support, I guess. It's, well, you'd almost think it would be the other way around with these two heroes at the support roles, but they feel an Engineer was more necessary for secondary support, and Witchslayer playing more of the main support here. Definitely more underleveled as a result. To a bottom lane, they're going to go for Madman right here. This could be a big kill. He has that shrunken head. He's not going to use it. He might not need it. Oh, the swamp from Andromeda. Beautiful timing. That's why we say such a huge hero for saving the teammates. And usually a sacrificial land might still be that way, actually. Yes, it is. He does go down in the end as the portal key Engineer comes through with the energy field and Magmus to follow. So at least they get a kill in the end, but beautiful timing from Andromeda right there to save Madman in the end. This push though is going to happen
as well. Yeah, but I don't know why 4 of them are even sort of trying to contest them, because they cannot contest this 4v5 yet. They're going in.
You want to second guess yourself or something? Because yeah, they get the 1 kill immediately. Dr. Pulsar flying away. Unbreakable popped right there from Drunken Master. Witchslayer is going to start dropping so quickly. He goes down to those auto attacks. Madman finishing the job. He's level 16 now. He has Berserk up, and Berserk he's going. Down goes Engineer. Dr. Pulsar going to just sit in the background, not doing much else. Gemini is here, ready to play. Madman, actually, that's a fake, right? No, that is the real one, actually. For some reason, that was an illusion, but no, he's kind of going back in now.
Gemini mid lane.
Yeah, he needs to be careful. Okay, there's the Energizer. They're going to be fine, so they hold.
Wow. I mean, I was not expecting that. I mean, I didn't think they could even hold, even if they were as 5, because they didn't have Strongans on Drunken Master yet. But in the end, they held as 4. But I guess that all comes down to great initiation coming out from Pebbles, instantly killing the Magma, so at least they evened it up 4v4 before the team fight even started. And you saw the importance and really the usefulness of the Strong Head on Madman. He pops it, and I mean, Legion just have to run because they can't do anything else. And I mean, although they are down 6,000 gold, I mean, this game is far, far, far from over. Top lane, though.
Oh, Gemini putting some good damage on Rhapsody, but Andromeda is nearby, and that's enough to kind of scare him off, and there's more support coming in. Pebbles has that portal key. If he can guess right here, I don't think he's going to be able to. No, yeah, Gemini will be fine in the end in terms of getting away. But yeah, you're right. I mean, a lot of magical threat. I mean, even Gemini still... He's a lot more, or a lot of magical damage himself right now. I mean, that is going to start progressing into more physical as the game picks up, of course. And, you know, we are starting to get to that point. He has the Geometer's Bane just about finished right here. But even with that still, I'm sure we're going to see some kind of Soul's Bulwark into eventually Demonic possibly for the Hellborn team. And both Pebbles and Drunken Master are good candidates for that. Nothing just yet. It looks like Pebble's going to be going for a Shrunken, though, as Drunken did finish his own Shrunken as well, of course, so maybe a Soul's Bulwark going to be next in line for him to follow things up. But then also things like an Abyssal Skull on Madman, as he's sitting on that Ring of the Teacher here. So that would be a very good item for this Hellborn team, especially with the 3 melee that they have on top of it. So.
I mean, going back to the Doctor's item choice, so, I mean, at the start, I mean, we talked about, you know, maybe seeing the Nullstone, and the Nullstone is definitely going to sort of protect him, but at the same time, now, you know, you've got Madman Strong Head, Drunken Master Strong Head, and I mean, Pebbles is closing in on his Strong Head as well, and I don't think they really will have the lockdown past the sort of Strong Head point, and unless they get perfect initiation, which will most likely come from a portal key on Witchlight, which is so far away, or a perfect initiation from Magmus as well, I mean, I don't know if they really have the lockdown, actually, because I don't think they'll be able to, you know, pop it or lock down and lock the Hellborn team down before they pop their Strong Heads. And I think this is going to play a massive factor, actually, into the next team fight, because once, you know, the Strong Heads are popped, they've got almost, you know, 9 seconds to just go free reign, actually, middle lane.
Yeah, here we go, another big fight coming in. This could determine a lot. Dr. Pulsar flies in, Andromeda going to die right off the bat, but now Magmus, he's dropping low. Energy field in the background. It is trapping Pebbles quite a bit. Dr. Pulsar still flying around, trying to figure out an opportunity. Rhapsody will go down. Disco, or her ultimate, immediately stopped right there. Pebbles does fall. Madman, though, he's putting in some good damage all of a sudden by himself. He's going to start stalking with beautiful Twin Fangs. It lands on a Madman perfectly, and down he goes. And I'll tell you what, again, Beaver Banger, I mean, this, again, isn't the crazy excelling game that he had, especially last game, but, again, the Twin Fangs is not an easy stun to land because of just the distance that it hits always, and you kind of have to position yourself for it, but he knows what he's doing. Another example right there.
Yeah, but I think, honestly, I think the reason why Legion went so far ahead in that team fight is because of actually, at the same time, BB Bang playing amazing, but at the same time, they were focusing a lot on the Fire Dog, and then, obviously, if you focus a lot of damage on the Fire Dog, and obviously you don't drop it, then he just, combines together, and that's a lot of lost damage, seeing as, obviously, regains back to the full HP of the Ice Dog, which they didn't focus down, and as a result, I think Madman and Drunken wasted a lot of time, actually, bottom lane.
Yeah, that's a quick kill. That's Doctor doing his Doctor thing, and he does have 13 charges now, by the way, on that icon, so it does start to add up. And that regen is kicking in right here. So right now he has the added buff, of course, of having the kill recently. But, yeah, 1,500 gold saved up on him. The Nullstone on top of that. So that regen is going to start kicking in pretty massive, especially if he follows this up with something like, say, a Hellflower even on top of this, or possibly that Sheepstick. But Hellborn are closing the gold gap a bit. Legion out of 70. Oh, I think it means the, not gold, but efficiency. Yes, that's it. Yeah. Anywho. But, yeah, trying to close it a little bit. But at the same time, you got a Legion team. I want to say they even have their biggest leads now overall as far as gold and experience, honestly, at this point. At 31 minutes in, yeah, nearly 10.5 thousand gold lead, 11,000 experience lead. So a lot of things going their way once again. So another Shrunken Head again in the works for Pebbles. I can keep going back to a very big item pickup for them. But you are going to that point, too. Gemini, yeah, he has another Blessed Orb here, so probably going to be going the similar as... Or did he go to Frost's Skull eventually, or maybe the game just finished before he eventually got it, actually?
I think
anyways.
Finished. Yeah. I think it finished. But and anyway, Hellborn getting Congo, though. If they can get this, it would be massive, because I mean, Legion have been winning all these team fights, but with 6v5 actually for Hellborn, this could definitely play a massive factor, and they are going to get it. They get it so quickly because of that Madman, as well as being a Hellborn factor. They had a ward actually, didn't really see into Congo pit, but it was enough to sort of see them rotate to Congo, and in the end, I mean, Legion paying for their sort of price of not really knowing where their Hellborn team was.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, if anything, the Legion team's at a point, they've been at a point throughout this game, they're going to shoot themselves in the foot. That's going to be the comeback chance for Rexars, and although that was maybe as massive as diving, a support hero near their base by any means, but still, giving up a Conqueror like that with 0 resistance, when you could have maybe at least guessed it somewhat, is pretty impactful. So Madman now has that token of life, and this is going to allow the Hellborn team to maybe play a little bit more aggressive themselves and make something happen. Madman is a pretty good hero with a token, too, with that said. You think of heroes that have shorter cooldowns and whatnot with their abilities and everything, and he most certainly does. With his skill set, and of course, Gash being that passive, it doesn't really matter in the end. So, he has another 1,300 gold. He did go the Abyssal Skull route, like I was talking about earlier. Not only good for the armor, but having the 3 melee heroes on the team with Pebbles and Drunken Master, including himself, very impactful for that lifesteal here. So, a great tool to have. Gemini top lane says, "I'm going to get the hell on out of here," for good reason, as they were coming to take him out. So, a good split pushing coming out here from the Legion side. They know that that's where they kind of have an advantage still against the Hellborn team, but at the same time, they do not want to get cut out. That would be the biggest deal. Oh, he's getting, Dr. Pulsar really was playing that on the edge. He really wanted that tower kill. It did get denied in the end. Good job by Madman right there, but Doctor, that could have been a lot worse for him if he did get jumped by somebody, but he does not. And is that the last? No, actually, both the middle and the top outer towers are still up for the Hellborn side. I thought that might have been the last one, actually, but so not as much push going as maybe I expected. But what do you, if you're Rexars here? I was going to say, you think that you do need to use this token? You want to group up and start pushing in the base, perhaps, or?
It makes sense because they've got the Shrunken Heads now on Madman as well as Drunken. Obviously, you're fighting 6v5. I mean, they took a team fight 5v4 and they still won, so why couldn't they win 6v5 pretty much? And I think it's the right play to make. I think they might have to defend them, because I don't think the Legion are going to defend because they know they can't really win the team fight, although they are going to TP back.
Yeah.
So this could be a fire base.
Yeah, that's one of those split decisions, man. You could argue that the Legion team could have kept pushing, and maybe the Hellborn team would have had to respond, but they had to lead themselves. They want to defend. A free kill right off the bat. Look at that. Dr. Pulsar goes in. Yeah, the mine's obviously doing some work there as well. Initially, Dr. Pulsar holding his ground. Madman is getting low, but he's putting out some good damage. Remember, he has a token, so he's not worried about dying. At least once eruption does go off. The Sugarhead's still up somewhat. Magmus will get the kill on a Rhapsody, but he falls shortly after. Gemini in the background. He got the kill on Pebbles. Madman getting pulled in. Revward's put down. And now Madman's in extra trouble. He probably is going to fall right here. Yeah, the stun lockdown going to be way too much. A double tap for Beaverbanger to finish it off.
Oh, because of Engineer's Spider Mines, man. That was such a big pickoff. But man, I guess at the same time, that's the problem when you're pushing and seizing the base. There is going to be some positioning errors, and as a result, I mean, they capitalized on Andromeda, almost dying completely, and as a result, they started the fight 5v4. Yeah, Madman did have the token, but by that time, I mean, the rest of his team was dead, and great capitalization come out from Legion, and as a result, they expand their gold and experience lead by threefold, pretty much, like 16,000 gold, 18,000 experience. It's looking rough for Hellborn.
It is. They're going to see a vote to pause coming out for the Hellborn team, maybe even a little bit of a tactic pause here. Trying to decide what they want to do. This is a third and final game. Again, the loser of this, they're still in it. They will just drop down to the losers bracket. But the winner going to the winner bracket finals to face Dawn, actually, a team we just saw defeat Moe's Tavern in the winner bracket semifinal matchup there earlier today. So I'm also refreshing the overall brackets. Kind of curious about the losers bracket, how that may be played out. It looks like Instant Reflex and Black Code Order. Yeah. I know you're interested about that one. It's not updated in the brackets. There might have been a bug with that.
Instant Reflex lost 2-0.
They did? Okay, so it's 2-0 Black Code Order. Okay, I know you're bummed. I'm sorry.
Sorry,
they'll be in the gold division, though. There'll be chances to make it to Diamond.
I had high hopes, man. I had high hopes. But, I mean, what can you do when their captain leaves them? Like, I mean, I wouldn't expect them to go. I'm joking.
You didn't leave them. You went on to better
things, I guess.
Opportunity. No, that's still a bad way to say that. Yeah.
I don't know. They would have done a lot better without me anyway. They probably succeeded because I left them. But yeah, in the end, they are going to be in Gold League. But they could definitely progress into Diamond. I mean, I know they were having a little bit of an issues in terms of rosters. So I guess that could be one reason, but no excuses in the end, I guess.
Well, again, they're going to be gold, so they'll start with Cycle 1 in gold, but plenty of season, and I would not be surprised to see them eventually make that Diamond Division.
Plenty of money, too, so. In gold as well. So.
Yeah, the top 3 teams in gold get a portion, and their prize pool especially is based simply on percentage of the esports Blinko and whatnot, so again, the higher that is, obviously the higher that goes up for them too. So yeah, there's opportunity, man, across the board for all these teams to get a chance here. This is definitely a great time right now to join the competitive on-seat, if any, I think it's safe to say, and give yourself a shot even. So Gemini, though, middle lane, this is a big opportunity for the Hellborn team, but nothing's going to really happen just yet. Oh, Pebbles needs to be careful. Is that in range? I think they might even be able to see him right here. My key's not working for some reason. But anyways, there's a jump on a Gemini, so now they definitely see him. Dr. Pulse in the background. He goes immediately for Andromeda, cannot swap. They'll protect him. Now they will save today. Magmus, however, comes in. He misses stun on the Rhapsody. Doesn't matter. Down goes Madman. Down goes Andromeda. And the Hellborn team's falling apart. So Madman, he was getting beat on in the background while there's basically 2 different fights going on. The end result, though, easily in favor of the Legion team, it looks like. Drunken Master. He survives with full life, actually, running back to base, but then that's going to do it. Yeah, GG, well played. Blue Dingle Balls. I don't think I'd say that, but they make the winner bracket finals.
I know, man. I'm so surprised. I honestly thought Rexos would have had this, but, I mean, I guess that's what happens when... I mean, I think they have been scrimming quite a bit, and that's the price you pay if you don't scrim. You lose out to teams you wouldn't expect to.
Yeah. So congratulations to these guys. Again, a U.S. West team actually playing here. So they're going to make the winner bracket finals. Again, though, they still got more work to do. They're going to be playing Dawn in the winner bracket finals. The winner of that will qualify for Diamond. The loser will still have a chance, but they'll need to play in the losers bracket finals from then on, as double elimination always works. So. Yeah, another good day in the books right here as far as matches that we had and everything. Obviously, the earlier series with Dawn versus Moe's Tavern, and went 2-0 for Dawn. Jumped into this one, and we got to see both Game 2 and 3 in the end. Again, of course, Rexos was up 1 game to 0 too. That's important to note. So Blue Dingle Ball is coming from behind in the end. in terms of the series. So, come on, what are we? What are we? 15 or something?
I'm sorry.
I mean, when there's a name like that, yeah, it's.